just bite our old tail. Wishing, wishing, wishing that something would change, that we could turn back the page and live like our favorite fairy tales. So a love so free in a world of our fantasies, flying on dragons through sky-high cities. These are childhood dreams, it's how we used to be, when we were kings and queens in our childhood dreams. Oh, 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 our childhood dreams. I feel so lightweight when I think back to those days, but then we went our own ways. I'm thinking, thinking, thinking about what needs to change, that we could turn back the page and live like our favorite fairy tales. So a love so free in a world of our fantasy, digging up treasures and sailing across the sea. These are childhood dreams, it's how we used to be, when we were kings and queens in our childhood dreams. Oh, 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 our childhood dreams. Our childhood dreams, it's how it used to be, when we were kings and queens in our childhood dreams.
Every weekend is the same. I'm the one you try to claim. Yeah, I already know about your game, but I'm not the one to sit around and be played. Call me up with no shame. All your words sound the same. Yeah, already know about your game, but I'm not the one to sit around and be played. If you come around just to play me, don't bother, cause you're way overdue. Don't even try to convince me. Don't bother, cause now I see you through. If you come around to play me,
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to EML Premier. We are here for Season 1, Round 10, the final round of the championship as we take in the Brazilian Grand Prix from the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. My name is James Hay, good to be taking you through the stream, as always, on this monthly occasion. And joining me in the commentary box, well, he needs no introduction, apart from this one here. It is Mr. Kieran McGinley. Kieran, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you, Mr. James, for the introduction. It's great to be back for the season finale. I can't wait to get my teeth right sunk into this one.
It is going to be fantastic, of course, the action unfolding out on track. And for those of you who have missed, like Kieran, the last few rounds, of course, because somebody had better things to do on their Wednesday evening. Singapore, last time out, LR1-2. Amazing Hour 1, Harry Banks in second and Garassi in third for TTG. What did that do to the standings? Well, Leonis lead the way, 318 points. They basically have to finish, and Customs GT basically have to hope for a miracle. Out on track on 275 points. Leonis on 318. The gap is 43 points coming into tonight. Basically, Leonis need to finish in 16th position, and then they've wrapped up the championship there and then. TTG is also in third, by the way, on 255. FRL in fourth on 197. STV fifth on 182. F1 Friends Cup in sixth on 162. Team Norway Racing in seventh on 142. CPI, after their restructure, in eighth on 45. IFR ninth on 24. And Esports Wales Tan, a brand new team, of course, the Welsh team, in 10th on 23. Leonis, though, continuing their good form. 4 wins and 11 podiums to their name. Pretty much got two hands now grasping on the championship.
Yeah, and it looks pretty much home and dry at the moment, as you rightfully said. All our championship leaders have to do is get a car to finish this race. That'll score them enough points to get them across the line and winning that title. So it's not over yet, but all they have to do is finish this race. They can run the least risky strategy they've ever run in their entire lives, and they will be able to walk away with the crown. The problem is they have to get there. So this is going to be a critical moment. This needs to be a race where everything is very risk averse, so that they can just score those points to get them over the line.
Yeah, they do. And of course, they've got the same team of Amazing Hour and Harry Banks going to be here tonight competing out on track. And to take you through the driver lineup, we've got 8 teams going to be doing battle around the tracks tonight here in Brazil. TTG, represented by Texfex Pro, Carter and Kilwa. If I butcher any of these pronunciations, by the way, I'm sorry. Leonis in, of course, with Amazing Hour, Harry Banks and Bjorn. IFR with Ledgen, Risa and Thyman. FRL Esports with Chapelelli, Michelizzi and Ginger. Esports Wales Tan with Colin, Mike and Hooky. CPI with Demoliol, Dawidek and Red. Bit of a mouthful to say that. Customs GT with Krazer, Yamaba and Andaroa. And F1 Friends Cup with Castro, Ruben and Quinny. Not a bad job in terms of the pronunciations for somebody who's got very big dulcet northeastern tones.
Oh, absolutely not. You did a fine job there, James, as you normally do.
Well, I'm glad I've did a good job. That's the thing. Of course, we have got all 16 drivers within the lobby, so we should be getting underway very soon indeed for the action, of course, out on track. And looking at the all-time wins record as well, here in EML Premier, Amazing Hour has taken 4 wins. All 4 wins for LR have gone to him. Harry Banks has been his wingman, essentially, in the championship. Kazizel has picked up 2 victories for FRL, and TTG and STV have picked up 1, respectively, as well, with Benny, Yavivera and Zocala in the STV cars, both STV cars having 2 wins and Benny having 1. So, LR, top of the team's championship coming into tonight. Harry Banks being the wingman. Amazing Hour has basically run the show in terms of the wins.
He really has, and he's just showing you that he has been the front man for LR. He's been right up there, and as you say, 4 race wins so far this season. He could make it to the end of this season, getting 1 more win on him, and he'll have won half of EML races. That's an astonishing achievement for a talented driver, one to watch for the future, no doubt about that, and Livid Racing will be absolutely joyous that they've got such a great driver behind them. In fact, it's Leonis Racing who are so really glad they've got a driver of that caliber helping them towards the line. Of course, you do need a teammate in that battle as well, and Leonis have shown time and time again they've got a really, really strong here. Every time they come out for one of these races, it looks like they're in the money.
It does look like they're in the money, of course, and we are just waiting on a couple of the guys to join the lobby, but we are going to get underway, of course. For Brazil, the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache waiting us, of course, out on track. And if you're very unfamiliar with this track, let me run you through the track map. 4.2 kilometres in length, 36 laps awaiting these guys out on track, with the two DRS zones, of course. One down into Cida del Lago at turn 4, and one down in towards turn 1 and towards the Cover del Sol through turns 2 and 3. A lot of overtaking opportunities around this track, of course. Mercedes have dominated here in the past. Of course, we're running the multiplayer cars here in the same racing world. But a lot of overtaking and a lot of great battling can be hopeful.
It can indeed. The Senna S's are a good opportunity for that. The Senna S obviously providing a downhill braking section in towards turn 1. Very easy to lock up a brake, especially the front right-hand side brake. Very easy to lock up as it starts to try and over-rotate. But that undulation through the Senna S, bringing you onto the short back straight towards turn 4 in the first DRS zone of the lap. And of course then you've got the likes of turns 8, 9 and 10, which are very tricky corners to seal and overtake. But they're a good opportunity to size the move up. And who could forget, of course, the turn 12, the Is That Glock moment of 12 years ago. The moment where it sealed the 2008 championship. At this point, it could seal a move for somebody. They might wait until this long time on the accelerator pedal and using that bit of DRS down the start-finish straight to help them make the move in towards turn 1. It's a short, sharp track. We've got 36 laps of it coming up, and I can't wait.
I can't wait either, and we're about to get going, of course, in towards qualifying for the final time, of course, this season. We wish all the teams the best of luck out on track, and we wish all the drivers the best of luck as well, is what I'm sure is going to be a really good finale here in EML Premier to round off Season 1, Round 10. Shall we get underway? Of course we will. Let's get going then. Let's go into qualifying. Welcome along, everyone, to EML Premier once again for the final time. Round 10 of the Championship, Season 1, the Brazilian Grand Prix in Sao Paulo at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. Of course, 3 tyre compounds awaiting the guys out on track. They might not need it, because I've just seen the rain. C3, C2 and C1 compound tyres, softs, mediums and the hards, of course, to you and me. And it's going to be fascinating to see, of course, how the tyre wear really tries to hit home around this track, around a short, sharp circuit, of course, here in the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. And for those of you, if you missed it, 4.2 kilometres in length, 15 turns, and with 2 DRS zones, of course, one down the start-finish straight, one down in towards turn 4 to Cida del Lago, and it's going to be quite an elevation roller coaster ride, I would imagine, around the tracks here in Interlagos. And for the final time, we better get going, of course, into qualifying. And one thing to note, Kieran, immediately, it's raining.
It really is. It really is raining, and these intermediate tyres will be ready and waiting to get themselves out onto the track. Although the clamour of teams trying to get out onto the track makes me think there could be a possibility of lighter rain, maybe even a drier track later on. If the conditions are going to stay the same, we would have seen someone leave onto the track by now, and even if they were going to get worse, we would have seen drivers clamour out of the pit lane to try and get their way out onto the track. Something tells me improved weather conditions are not too far away. We are, though, seeing some drivers make their way out onto the track to start their first lap of the session.
Yeah, we are indeed. The first cars are coming out onto the track, and of course there's Harry Banks just leaving the pit lane there as well. I think he's going to be the 5th man to come out of the pit lane. We're going to see, of course, who's first out on track in terms of the guys. I'm just going to scroll through as soon as they come out the pit lane. And it's Chapelelli, who is normally known under another name here, of course, in TTML and in EML. But Chapelelli, of course, representing FRL tonight. The German hoping for better results, of course, around here. I know in the past he set a really good qualifying lap time and then has just completely gone by the wayside. But I saw a lap time from him actually on Twitter earlier on. It was a 106.1, I think, that he set on a set of softs, and that was without the delta on the right-hand side. Can Chapelelli try master Interlagos?
It's going to be a tough one. It really is. However, I would not put it past him whatsoever. The German has always got that bit of pace about him, and he knows when to unleash that pace at the best possible moment. Never rule out a great lap here from Chapelelli. This rain is still falling. It is very light rain, though, so these intermediate tyres will be perfect. They can get through around about 20 to 25 litres of water per minute, so perfect for just a slight layer of water out onto the track. Nowhere near the levels of standing water we could see in this race as Chapelelli starts this flying lap.
He butchered turn 1, coming through turn 2, and now through turn 3, of course, at the Cover del Sol, and now running down in toward the Desida del Lago, coming through the end of the first sector. Of course, we have got the live data, of course, up for you, and 18.6 through the first sector from Schiaparelli, so it's not too bad at all from the German, and 18.692 according to Tass. He now runs up the hill, up in towards the double right-hander of turn 6 and 7, and he'd be hoping to try and get a really good middle sector, pretty much at the highest point of the track here. Quite a lot of elevation change in this middle sector, now through turn 7, now through turn 8, through turn 9, and then on the run up towards the top of the hill, the highest point in the circuit, coming through turn number 10. So he now takes the line beautifully onto the curb, now coming through turn 11, and then through turn 12 in towards Jun South. There's the yellow flag in sector 3, don't worry about that. I think it's just drivers preparing up for a lap. Schiaparelli, though, through the middle sector, 39.6 through the middle. Fastest first sector out of everyone, by the way, is his teammate, Michelizzi, with an 18.614 in the first sector, and 18.4 set by Crazer, so he might be one of the men to watch out for as well. Schiaparelli now running through turn 15, on the run up toward the line. The first lap of the night is a 1:16 flat to begin off the night.
Nice lap time in these tricky conditions then, as TexFX Pro coming around in towards turn 12. Amazing hour, 16 flat then, as he now comes across the line just around about 400ths faster than the other provisional lap time of Schiaparelli. Harry B comes across the line with a 16.8. Here's TexFX Pro coming towards the line as Legend gets a 15.5 onto the table. TexFX 14.8. So this track is developing very, very nicely. No wonder there were drivers hating and being a little bit hesitant in coming out onto the track, because it's improving lap after lap after lap.
Well, Ruben Castro, by the way, still in the pit lane as well, so that's interesting tactics from the FFC boys. Crazy now comes to the line, goes second, 15.13 tenths of a second off TexFX Pro, but it's not surprising to see quite a vast timing difference between TexFX Pro and between Dawidek, who, I mean, has just had a 1:31.8, but that is not a respective time at all from him out on track. Cool Hands Carter, TTG Carter, otherwise known as, not to be confused with our commentator from earlier on, Mr. Aiden Carter. Cool Hands Carter, the Canadian, now running up in towards turn 10. He is on a lap here, an 18.4 through the first sector. He was slightly slower than Risa, and Risa, I think, is coming towards the end of the middle sector as well. He might be behind him out on track as Cool Hands Carter now comes through the end of the middle sector to 39.3. So again, he's there or thereabouts in terms of the likes of Legend, in terms of the likes of Michelizzi, but it's TexFX Pro, Crazer and Demolial now going up into third for CPI. Of course, they've gone under a restructure since our last race a month ago, but TTG Carter on the run toward the line, and he goes fifth, and he's just behind CPI Demolial, even though they're in very, very similar looking cars.
Yeah, Legend as well. Yeah, Legend as well, getting his personal best lap time in, puts him up to third place with a 15.2, pulls to the left-hand side of the back straight, and the other car comes straight through of Carter then to take track position at the very least. And of course, when it comes to wet weather qualifying, your strategy completely changes. Gone are the tyre-saving methods of one flying lap, back to the pits, put on a fresh set of tyres and straight back out again. In these wet weather conditions, you can afford 2 to 3 laps on the same tyre, because these wet weather tyres are used pretty much for all conditions. They're very durable tyres. You know, you could be looking at a one-stop race no matter what tyre you're on, especially the wet weather tyres, nearer a 2-stop strategy if you're too aggressive with the intermediate tyres. The point is, they're very tolerable at being, you know, having all that weight transfer through, having these tyre temperatures in a lower range. Make sure the longevity of the tyre is secure, so you can put through a couple of laps on these tyres without losing a ton of performance. Carter once again making his way towards the line, then currently in 5th place. He's gone personal best through sector 1, personal best through sector 2, and it's a personal best through sector 3. It's 2nd place, 15.1, and TexFX Pro ever extends the gap at the top. 14.7 is our new provisional pole position lap time.
Yeah, both TTG men looking on fire early on. 1:14.7, 1:15.1 for TexFX Pro and for Carter. Crazer is in third as well with the 1:15.113. I'm not sure if Reese is actually coming through the end of the middle sector. He's actually improving 39.3 through the middle sector. He hasn't set a lap time just yet, but he's hoping to set a lap time as Michelizzi goes up into 4th as well. Demolial now all the way down in 6th. Harry Banks an amazing hour. A bit disappointing at this stage down in 7th and 8th, but they don't need to do that much out on track to wrap up the championship. Risa now toward the line. He goes 12th with 1:16.5. Of course, that will improve. Mike's coming through the final couple of corners as well. He's improving through the middle sector. Of course, Mike Holcomb's in Division 2 tomorrow night in TTML. Comes across the line. He does improve his lap time, but doesn't improve position. Stays 13th for now, with Colin Mason, his teammate, up in 9th and in the pit lane.
Demaliol coming across the line then, personal best in sectors 1 and 2, and now goes 4th fastest with a 15.1. Amazing hour though in 7th place, and he has just invalidated his last lap time then, so he's obviously making his way back to the pit lane. But just under 10 minutes to go then, and it's TexFX Pro on top then, 14.7. He's low on fuel, so we'll have to come back to the pit lane there. But a great lap time so far. This rain though has seemed to have dropped off just a little bit compared to the start of this session. Keep an eye on those clouds in the sky, because it looks like this rain's just starting to ease off.
It is starting to ease off, I think. And Mason now, by the way, he invalidated this lap because he improved up to 7th on his last lap, a 1:15.5 from a Mason now. And a rower as well, just went 8th there for CGT. Harry Banks, I believe, is on a lap coming in towards the middle sector as well. And it's an 18.4 through the first sector, so he's there or thereabouts through the first sector, but it's this middle sector that can be the car killer. Out on track, and I hope that I don't say that literally. I hope nothing happens to any of the guys in Sector 2 or indeed in any sector out on track. Harry Banks though coming through now, turn 11, on the run up towards Jun Sao at turn 12, and again, he's green in the middle sector, 39.3. Mike didn't improve on his lap time further down the field in 13th, but TexFX Pro, Shapalali now 2nd, and Carter still in 3rd. TTGB right to the forefront, CGT getting up there as well. Harry Banks though, on the run up towards the line. Is this more improved from LR? No, 8th position, 1:15.3, and he's about 8 tenths off the back of TexFX Pro. A little bit disappointing from the LR standards, I think.
At the moment, but they know that they don't have to do anything rash. They don't have to do anything out of the ordinary here. They don't have to push too hard. They know getting one car into these points to the checkered flag will be enough to seal the title no matter what happens. So I think they're going to go out there and they're going to enjoy themselves. Amazing hour, of course, in 9th place. We're not so familiar with him being this far down the table, sort of midfield territory. However, we've still got 8 minutes to go, and there is every chance this weather could change. It could be a case that drivers are trying to run different setups. It could be dry in the race, which means drivers might maybe prioritise a dry setup in these tricky conditions. It's going to make the cars a little bit harder to drive. However, the long-term bonuses of having a dry setup in the dry race, well, you'd rather take that and just maybe sacrifice a little bit of pace in qualifying.
Yeah, you take that every day of the week. It's talking from a man who is now no longer out on track being a driver and rather sitting here in a very warm commentary box sitting next to a radiator. TexFX Pro out on top from Shapaladi in 2nd, Carter in 3rd. I'm on board with Ruben Teve though. FFC have now ventured their way out on track, and he's down in 15th. Castro, of course, still out the pit lane in 16th position, so still yet to come out on track. Ruben really struggling with these conditions. It looks to me actually the rain might have got slightly heavier out on track compared to just a couple of minutes ago. But TexFX Pro out on top, Shapaladi 2nd, Carter in 3rd. The TAS Help YouTube bot, by the way, is not working. I tried to set it up earlier on, didn't work. So clearly I need to brush up on my technology skills a bit. TexFX Pro, Shapaladi, Carter still top 3, but I wonder where Ruben's going to go with this lap. He now runs through turn 15. On the run up toward the line, and he goes 14th ahead of Mike, 16.7. And FFC have been there or thereabouts in terms of the results, certainly in terms of the consistency so far that we've seen. Crazer for CGT has gone 3rd, so he now goes ahead of Carter. But Carter, I believe, has just started up on a lap coming up towards 6 and 7.
Yeah, he would have been on a lap, but he's on a little bit of a slow down lap, a bit of a cool down lap. He got a massive tank slapper out of the exit of the Senna S, so had to abandon his lap time. But at least it happened very early on, so he's got enough time to recharge the battery and make sure he can keep his tyres within that operating range. But yeah, keep an eye on him for his next lap. Right now, he's on a cool down lap.
Yeah, I think Legend is coming through the end of the middle sector, 39.2 for IFR, and his teammate, of course, is Risa. Risa down in 13, 16.5, but Legend will be hoping to try and put in a really good result. Gone are the days, I think, from Belgium. Remember that safety car start? I think IFR certainly improved from theirs. Legend now comes to the line, and he's another one to go into the 1:15.1s. He doesn't improve his position, but he does improve his time of 1:15.191. He's about 900ths of a second off the back of Carter. Just trying to see who else might be out there on a lap. I think Amazing Hour is out on a lap time at the minute, 18.6 through the first sector. In the middle sector, however, Crazer, who's just invalidated, on the run up through turn 15. I think he might have come into the pit lane as well. So Crazer was purple through the middle sector, but he'll be hoping to try and improve. TechFX Pro, though, still out on top. Chapelelli second, Crazer to go. 5.5 minutes in qualifying to go. Amazing Hour's middle sector is a 39.1, so he's going to be there or thereabouts.
He really is, as Crazer then will be ruining that one. Yet purple through the middle sector, you're absolutely right, James. Could have been on for a really, really good lap time, but there's one man out there who is on a flying lap right now. TechFX Pro has just gone purple through sector 1 as he now climbs up the hill and to complete the rest of this lap. Let's see what he's like coming through sector 2, as I think that's Risa who's just set his fastest lap of the session. Up to now, the second row of the grid, 4th place then, with that 1:15.073. But the top 12 at the moment separated by less than a second. Top 4 separated by less than 0.3 of a second. Mightily close out there as Legend goes now third fastest, 0.185 off the top time at the moment of 1:14.962 as TechFX Pro lighting up the timing screens, Jade. He's now gone purple through sector 2.
Yeah, purple through sector 1, purple through sector 2, now running through 13 at the Cedar Dust boxes, now running down the hill through 15 through the King. This is the fastest lap. It might be the time to speak. Comes across the line, and it's a 1:14.4 and a very good lap time from TechFX Pro. It was 0.4 of a second. He's now just pulled 0.5 of a second away from Chapelelli. So, catch me if you can, he cries.
Yeah, he's just gone and improved by 3.5. That's a huge chunk of time he's found there at the top of the standings. So he's basically set down the marker. Can anybody catch him? Is there anybody who's going to come close to that lap time? I do wonder, with just under 4 minutes to go.
Amazing Hour's just gone 5th, 1:15 flat coming across the line there for LR. Harry Banks is also on a lap down in 10th position at this stage. He now runs up the hill in towards the right-hander of 6 and 7. Through the first sector, an 18.4. Mikalitsi is an 18.2 through the first sector, so he might be a man to watch out for, of course, for FRL. But TechFX Pro out on top. Chapelelli second, Legend and third. Crazer in 4th. Amazing Hour is your top 5 at this stage. But Chapelelli all the way down to Mikalitsi and now throwing Anderoa, who's just gone into 10th. Pretty much between Chapelelli and Anderoa, there's 0.2 of a second separating, 9 drivers, and Harry Banks might be another man to throw his hat into the ring as well, as he now comes out through the middle sector. I'm not sure what his middle sector was like. I'm trying to see if he's actually on my timing screen. Oh, he's invalidated. No wonder I couldn't find him.
That could be why. That may be why, for sure. But having a look at the timing sheets, then I've got Risa, who has set an 18.3. That's his personal best through the first sector as he now tiptoe his ways through and towards turn 10. On the run now through turn 11. The sector 2 timing line comes right before the braking zone in towards turn 12. And he's gone quicker again. It's his personal best through there. Mikalitsi now up into second place with his personal best lap time of 14.8. Risa then coming towards the line pretty much on pace with Mikalitsi through sectors 1 and 2, but decides to come back into the pits. I'll tell you why, though, James. The rain has stopped.
No, the rain is actually still falling out on track, but it is very, very light indeed. You can't really see it against the blue mitts of that car, but I wonder if we're going to see anybody try to venture out on a set of soft compound tyre. If I'm going to make a prediction, I normally don't get these too wrong sometimes. I think the rain has stopped out on track, but the way this track weathers, I don't think anybody is going to be out on a dry compound tyre unless they're absolutely mad, because the standing water is not going to clear in time, and if there's going to be a dry lap, it's going to be right at the end of the session when qualifying's over.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That could be a huge factor in here. I mean, we've got an air temperature of 22 degrees Celsius. We've got a track temperature of about 28 degrees Celsius. So the water could evaporate away. However, as you're right, James, I don't think there's enough time for this track to get into a state where we can go onto a set of dry tyres. Keep an eye on those drivers, though, because you never know. Someone who is in the bottom half of this table might just roll the dice and see what happens.
Well, you would imagine it would be Castro, but Castro's actually on a set of inters for FFC. Ruben Teve's teammate up in 14th position. I think he's just started up on a lap as well. But Castro now coming in toward the end of the middle sector. Yellow flags in sector 2. Don't worry about that at all. Probably just drivers getting out the way of oncoming traffic. But Castro now on the run through the end of the middle sector, through turn 11, in towards Junsao at turn 12. And he is lining up the timing screens to 39.7. But plenty of greens through the first sector. 18.2s alike for Chapelelli, through Kreiter. Harry Banks setting an 18.2 as well, so everyone's going to be trying to improve on probably their final run, I would imagine. Castro now runs to the line, and he goes, well, 15th position, 16.1. He goes back 300th back off his teammate Ruben Teve, and Ruben is on a lap coming through the end of the middle sector. However, Harry Banks is one of the first men. Ooh, nearly catches the curb coming through turn 12 on the run up through 13, and now Harry Banks on the run to the line. I wonder if he's going to try and improve on this lap time. The LR man currently with a 15.3 comes to the line, and he does improve up to 8th.
Yeah, nice lap time from him there as Castro wanted to go for another flying lap, but that's his qualifying session pretty much over now. He got all out of shape coming in towards turn 3 and never really recovered it as well as he would have liked then. Had to go a little bit off the track as well, so that is his qualifying session over, no higher than 15th place.
Dawadek just improving on his lap there, 15.3. That is qualifying pretty much over and done with. However, given that we've got out laps, as actually Dawadek spins it coming through turn 3 at the centre race. Texrex for a while on top. Crazer has gone second. Chapelelli has gone third as well. So good lap times there from them. But it looks like we might have a little bit of a timing glitch because Texrex, Pro, Michalizzi and Anderoa are all on out laps at this stage. We are right at the end of qualifying. I think we've got about another 30 seconds to go for these guys to get onto laps.
Yeah, as they now come towards the line, Texfex Pro then making his way towards the line, trying to take the shortest run possible then, and onwards towards the start-finish line he will go then, as I believe the checker flag is out now, and Texfex Pro did not make it to start a new flying lap. And I can guarantee you that, because he's under AI control, he's not made it.
Yeah, neither did Michalizzi, and Michalizzi was the man that was further down the field, and he was about to finish off a lap as well, but Demoliol has gone 5th, and I wonder if he's on a lap coming through the end of the middle sector. I'm just trying to see if there's anybody actually on a really good lap. Harry Banks is retired coming into the pit lane, I believe, but Amazing Hour now coming through in towards the final couple of corners, through turn 15. Can the LR man put it on pole? To the line he comes! And he goes 6th with a 114.9. He improved, but didn't improve enough. The track looking very greasy now out on track. There's hardly any spray being kicked off. Risa now coming through turn 13. Nearly got caught on the curb coming through 13, and he comes into the pit lane after invalidating. Legend is coming through in toward the end of the middle sector as well. 38.8 through the middle sector, however, from Mickey. And Mickey might be the one to try and actually improve there as he now comes to the line. It's actually Anderoa crossing the line, and he goes 4th with a 114.7. Good lap time from him. Legend is coming up the hill in towards the final couple of corners as well. Wonder if he is going to set a lap time or if he's going to come into the pit lane. He's actually going to set a lap time, comes toward the line. What's Legend going to do? And he goes 5th with a 114.8. But that is the end of qualifying for the final time here in EML Premier. Texfex Pro takes the championship. He doesn't. He takes qualifying and a very good win, but a very good qualifying session by that as well. 2.5 tenths of a second over Crazer. Chapelelli in 3rd, quite close to win behind.
Very close in behind, and Texfex didn't have it his own way then, because the second sector was taken away from him by Mickey in the fastest sector there. 1/100th of a second though. It was mightily close, but other than that, Texfex has shown people how it's done here on the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache.
Yeah, really good lap time from the German. On top he goes. CGT is 2nd with Crater the Spaniard. Chapelletti 3rd, the German. So 2 Germans and a Spaniard in the top 3. And Aroa is in 4th as well for the Spaniard for CGT. Legend in 5th with Michalizzi 6th. Demoliol 7th, Amazing Hour 8th, Risa in 9th, Harry Banks in 10th, Cool Hands Carter, TTG Carter in 11th, Dawadek in 12th, top 12 separated by Dead on 9 tenths of a second. Colin, Ruben, Mike and Castro round off the grid, but a very, very commanding advantage from Texfex Pro. Can he carry that form though going into the race?
Well, it's going to be tough, of course, and you always want to make sure that you carry that momentum on to the final race of the year. You want to end on a high as well, as all teams will. So, I can tell you right now, it's very overcast. It is dry though, and because we had a wet qualifying session, the drivers will be able to choose whatever tyre they like. They have to run 2 mandatory tyres, and the mandatory tyres will be 1 set of mediums and I believe 1 set of hards, and they have to run 1 of them. So they can go medium to soft, they can go medium to hard if they really wanted to, they go hard to soft. Whichever case, the medium and the hard tyre are both a mandatory set of tyres. You have to use 1 of them in this race.
You do have to use one of them, and it's all important, of course, because the tyre wear around this track is very heavy indeed. It's something like 6% a lap, I think, for a set of softs that goes off around here. Not so the case, they're all going to be on fresh tyres, so I wonder if we're going to see maybe a boring strategy throughout the whole field, or if we're going to see drivers and if we're going to see teams spice things up out on track. But as you say, Kieran, it is overcast conditions, and the threat of rain is never too far away around here in Brazil. We've seen so many races, like 2012, like 2015, I think it was as well, where Raikkonen spun on the straight. But we're going to be hoping to see some really good action, of course, out on track. And for the final time, EML Premier, of course, is about to begin. We've got a very weird camera angle on board with TechFX Pro, but we are about to get going onto the formation lap we come, and TechFX Pro leads us 36 laps awaiting these guys out on track. And looking at the strategies, everyone bar Crazer and either Bryn Mike all going in for a set of mediums.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised about that. I thought a lot more people were going to go onto the harder tyres, or the medium tyres, I should say, and then maybe switch onto a soft tyre later on down the line. The predicted pit stop strategy is for the hard tyres to be used at some point, but I don't think teams will be looking to go onto the hard tyres. They're quite a pain to warm up around an overcast track. You might not be able to get the heat into them. There are plenty of high-speed corners, however, to try and get that lateral flow through the tyre and making sure you can get the heat and keep them warm to keep the grip up. But I really do think drivers are going to be trying to eke out these medium tyres and eke out these softer tyres so they can run the softest compounds they possibly can. Definite one stop here around Brazil though.
Yeah, you would imagine so. Crater, I think, and I've been probably looking to maybe go onto that hard strategy towards the end of the race. However, of course, the softs do not last long around here. It's about lap 9, lap 10 when these pit stops are going to be starting. From certainly Crater and Mike's point of view, everyone else on a set of mediums, you can easily get to the halfway stage and then pit on, possibly to that set of hards, or maybe even to a set of softs later on in the race. So expect the pit stops to happen quite early in terms of the soft runners, quite late in terms of the medium runners. But safety cars, VSCs, the whole shebang is never too far away. And of course, LR and Customs GT are the only two in terms of the championship. Points left, 47 points available. Current gap is 43. The LR will win the title if they finish with at least one car, no matter the position and no matter CGT's result. But Kieran, very rare that I come across you with this. Who's your top three?
I think TechFX is going to be up there, Shapalele as well, and Amazing Hour surely will find himself onto the podium with his very great form this season.
Yeah, you'd like to imagine so, and of course we are about to get going for the final time here in EML Premier. It has been a whirlwind of a season, but we are about to get going and hopefully see the best of the best. 5 red lights are now coming out, as we've got a bit of a glitch, and I'm going to preempt the start. 5 red lights now going out, and it's lights out, and away we go. TechFX Pro gets a very good start. Crazer has actually had a shocker, and Chapelelli's going to go around the outside of him, down in towards turn 1. Chapelelli, the German, tries to go around the outside of Crazer and gets the move done. So Chapelelli ahead for the FML boys into second. TechFX Pro leads the way. There's a crash further down the field. Amazing Hour has been caught up in a collision as well, but it doesn't matter really. He can still go and pick up those points further down, but it's TechFX Pro leading the way. Chapelelli second, Crazer in third. Those softs are really not hardened at all in terms of the pace, and Chapelelli's right on the back of TechFX Pro running up the hill. Dawardek getting overtaken by Castro. I've been Mike getting overtaken by Ruben. And it looks to me, Kieran, the set of mediums are quicker than the set of softs originally.
At the moment, yes, but there was a huge pincer movement there. Legend had absolutely nowhere to go, found himself right into the middle of that, and that just caused that little bit of a chain reaction. Davadeka's front wing damage, so too does Iron Mike. Amazing Hour has, I think, lost his entire front wing then, and as well as that, Legend also riding on board with him, I am at least, has got front wing damage. So a lot of drivers here have a little bit of damage to their front wings, but Amazing Hour will have hurt that the most at this moment in time. He's got a lot of damage on the right hand side of his front wing. The end plate is completely gone.
Yeah, 100% damage for Amazing Hour. Crazer's right on the back of Chapelelli, lunges it down the inside and towards turn 1 now through turn 2. Gets the move done. That's clean sailing around the outside. Beautiful stuff by Crazer. He's Looney's into second. Chapelelli didn't know where to look, I think, to be honest with that one. Michalitzi's in behind in fourth. Risa's right on the back of the CPI man of Demoliol, but Demoliol's going to come under a bit of pressure from Risa. He looks the inside line, doesn't get the move done. Mike and Amazing Hour are the only two that actually came into the pit lane. Legend's got 12% damage on right side, so it's light green damage. And even lighter green damage is Dawardek. He's got 6% damage on that left side end plate, but he's not actually losing too much pace off the back of Castro at this stage. It's TechFX Pro who leads though, Crazer in second, Chapelelli in third, But TTG Man has got a great start out in front. Crazy though, beginning to warm up those softs and beginning to get onto the back of him.
Yeah, they'll be much easier to warm up. They'll be much easier to get into their operating temperature, their optimum time here. As you'll see, Crazer now onto the back of TextFX Pro. No DRS, of course. DRS will be activated when they pass the start-finish line again, and they'll be able to use it on the run down towards turn 4. And as you can see, holding on to that ERS at this moment in time is Crazer. He doesn't want to use it too much here, so he does set the fastest lap of the race. So 109.6 at the moment, in towards the centre as we go through turns 1, 2, and 3. TextFX here has got to make sure he gets a good run out of turn 3, but now Grazer here has a little bit of DRS to use. He'll open that little bit of a flap on the rear wing, move to the left hand side of the track, has the inside line going in towards turn 4, and has the inside line, has the racing line before the move's even done. Grazer now takes the lead on those soft tyres.
Yeah, unlike the independent broadcaster from Monaco, we actually caught that move. Crazy leading the way from TextFX Pro in second, Schiaparelli in third. Carter's right on the back of Risa running up the hill as well, in towards 6 and 7, but Carter not quite close enough. The Canadian on the back of the Dane of Risa, but Fraser out on top, TextFX Pro second, Schiaparelli in third. Luke, by the way, said in the comments section that they're expecting the medium runners 12 to 15 for set of softs, 20 to 22 for a set of mediums. So that really doesn't back up my theory of the softs coming in a little bit earlier. Yeah, the head commentator doesn't really know his things around here. Crazer's out on top though, TextFX Pro in second, Schiaparelli in third. And now that Crazer has got away from TextFX Pro, he's got to get outside of that second, because the DRS is quite potent around here, and if he's not careful, TextFX Pro will be on the back of him like a rash on a baby.
Yes. And the most important thing as well is there's 2 DRS points, one down the start-finish straight and the other, as I'm riding on board with Michalizzi, is down this backstretch here in towards turn 4. So you get a real dose of DRS here. Davidek, meanwhile, on the back of Castro. Now, Davidek has a bit of front wing damage, but you can see he's battling away for 12th place. No move past then as he runs now in towards turn 4 as we make our way in towards there. Was there a little bit of contact between the two of them going in through the ZRS? Do you know what? I think there might have been.
I think there might have been. I think Castro might have actually moved across on the inside line on the exit through turn 3, and then down the straight blocked Dawadek slightly. He made more than 2 moves, I think. Rubens picked up the first 3-second time penalty of the evening. But it'll be interesting to see how that is, of course, going to unfold, and whether the stewards will, of course, have a look at that if it is reported to the stewards. I've Bryn Mike is ahead of Amazing Hour, but Amazing Hour's got the pace to try and get past Mike. Both of them, of course, picking up damage. Crazy though leading the way up the hill for the 4th time. TextFX Pro in second, Schiaparelli in third. It looks like Risa, though, is getting onto the back of Demoliol further down the field. This is for 6th and 7th, running across the line once again. However, I don't think Risa is going to be close enough. Dawadek, however, might be to Castro. He might have just waited down in towards turn 1, but Castro nullified with that DRS in front of him. He's on the back of Colin R. Mason, and Colin is doing a good job in 11th for Esports Wales, but the FFC man of Castro now has an absolute flying run out through turn 2. You can see trying to get the run down and towards turn 4 at the Cedar de Largo, but I don't think he's going to get the move done. If it's not a late lunchy move, it's not, and Castro remains in position. Colin, though, feeling the threat from the FFC man.
Really is right there, isn't he? And only around about 0.3 of a second behind, so Mason has to be careful about that one, especially in a DRS zone. Doesn't want to fall foul of an overtake there. TextFX Pro has done well to stay onto the back of Crazer here, and this is the trouble when you start on the soft tyres. You get some amazing performance in the first few laps then, once the tyres start to get up to temperature, but then you'll get to a threshold, you'll get to a point where the soft tyres have a similar delta to the medium tyres, and that lasts for about 1 or 2 laps. Then after that, you really do start to feel the effects then. The medium tyres really come into their own in terms of delta time, and you start to lose time whilst you're on the soft tyres. You get to run the medium tyres later, but the theory behind it is you'll have the softer tyres with a lighter car that in theory will then be better on its tyres. It's good for track position at the very start of a race, but coming towards the end, you will start to struggle on the mediums.
Yeah, on the end of the stint is only going to be about 6 or 7 laps away, so Crazer's really going to try and up the pace and up the ante to try and get away from TextFX Pro. And that second gap, as I mentioned earlier on, is all important around here to try and break that DRS zone. It's now borderline 0.9 of a second, so Crazer now beginning to put in a little bit of effort coming through the corners. Down the straights, though, the DRS really in effect, and TextFX Pro begins to close up once again. Dawadek is still on the back of Castro. Collins just picked up a 3-second time penalty through the exit through turn 8. Milan, by the way, who's the RFR man, 23 laps on a set of mediums and 13 on a set of softs he did last time, so it's easily possible out on track. Castro just made a slight mistake there with Dawadek. However, Michalizzi right on the back of Schiaparelli. I wonder if we're going to see our first team orders of the evening here. Michalizzi looks a bit quicker than Schiaparelli running down the straight. Is the German going to give up position, or are they going to fight down in towards turn 1? Looks like Michalizzi's not going to go for the move just yet, but he is on the back of his teammate. 3 and 4 they go, and Aroa is only 1.1 seconds off the pace as well. If these two begin to battle, then it remains to be seen if Anderoa can get onto the back, with Demoliol chase them down in towards the Cedar de Largo. Again, not quite close enough, but it looks like he is driving what I can only describe as like a Panther-like car for CPI.
It's Panther-like. That's a really good way of describing it, actually. I will give you that one. Davidek then still trying to be onto the back of Castro. Remember that slight bit of front wing damage that Davidek is carrying on the left-hand side of his front wing. So too, I believe, out there is Ledjen, who's also got a little bit of front wing damage as well. So they're both carrying slightly wounded cars at the moment. But at the moment, they're going to carry on because really, if they pit in for a new front wing, they're going to lose so much time. And they clearly think that just nursing the car through this stint will be good enough. For some drivers, they don't even realise they have front wing damage until later on in the race.
Yeah, sun beginning to burn through on the track as well. And Mason Hour, by the way, is on the back of Mike running down the straight. Michalizzi as well on the back of Schiaparelli. He backs off once again down in towards someone. Schiaparelli makes a mistake. I think, honestly, team order should be in effect here because Michalizzi is losing time behind Schiaparelli, his own teammate. But now he's got to get the move done. He's got to get the clean sailing run. Round the outside he goes in towards the Cedar Largo. It's job done for Michalizzi. He's through and he's into P3. Schiaparelli now down into P4. But look at the gap. And Aroa, I did say the DRS is quite potent around here. Schiaparelli has essentially put his teammate Michalizzi in a bit of a weird situation here with Anderoa now on the back. Schiaparelli's the one that's dropping off. Michalizzi cannot get away because he's within DRS as Castro and Dawadek have hit each other, retired from the race. I'm not sure where that was actually out on track, but a safety car has been deployed.
Yeah, this is going to be huge news for Crazer. Then he can get onto those medium tyres and nurse them to the end. For everybody else, though, well, they're in a bit of a pickle now because, well, the medium tyres, if they put on another set of mediums, they'll have to go on another set of softs. Surely they can't make a set of softs last around about 26-odd laps. That's not possible. So it really puts the ball in Crazer's net here. He has the chance to go into the bits, which he does. I wouldn't be surprised if he chucks on a set of medium tyres, gets his stop out of the way, and he'll focus now on the end of the race. Michalizzi, Schiaparelli all into the mix. Texvex, though, staying out on his set of medium tyres. So he clearly feels that it's not time to change some tyres. Crazer goes onto a set of hard tyres. Michalizzi into the box then. Also a set of hards going on. So they're all going into hard tyres to try and get to the end of this race.
Anderoa, but there is a split because Risa's gone onto a set of soft compound tyre. Everyone else pretty much has gone onto a set of hards. I wonder if Legend is going to be the first man out on track then for IFR, and he's also gone onto a set of soft compound tyres. Maybe they know something that we don't in the commentary box. Texvex Pro Elbow out on top. He goes an extra lap. He's catching onto the back of the safety car. In fact, he is already on the back of the safety car, and we're under the safety car here. 1/4 distance, 25% of the way through this 50% race. That doesn't make sense if you're a mathematician like me. Texvex Pro out on top. Crazer second, Michalizzi in third, Anderoa fourth, Demoliol fifth, Risa sixth, Cool Hands Carter, TTG Carter in seventh, Schiaparelli eighth, Harry Banks in ninth, Colin in 10th, Legend, Ruben, Amazing Now, and Iverbrun Mike round off your top 14. Dawadek and Castro out of the race. They both crashed actually on the run in towards turn number 6. I think one of them might have been going for the move, maybe came across on one another, and the hitbox came into effect. I didn't see it, but the stewards, I'm sure, will investigate.
They will indeed. I'm having a look at Risa here because this is going to be opening up something here. He clearly has to go for another stop. He started his race on the medium tyres. He's gone on a set of softs. He can't make it to the end on this set of soft tyres. So he's opening himself up here for a two-stop strategy to the end of the race, if you like. So he's got this stop now on a set of softs. He'll have to make another one, and I genuinely think he'll go for another set of soft tyres. The only problem with that is he's got to make his way through the field sharpish. He's got 4 sets of hard tyre runners ahead. He's got TextFX, who's leading this race, and he's yet to stop in this race. If he wants to make this strategy work, he has to be aggressive. He has to try and commandeer that car up as the order as high as he possibly can. He cannot afford to lose time on this strategy now. But everybody else in front of him, they can.
I'm fascinated by Legend's pit stop as well. He's came in from a set of soft compounded tyres, literally just went out on that compound, and now he's coming back out on a set of hard compounded tyres. So obviously getting that soft compounded tyres out the way, he doesn't have to worry about that. He's going to be well ahead of Amazing Hour as well coming out the pit lane. So he joins in 12th position as Dowdek, of course, has left the session. We thank him, though, for attending. But TextFX Pro out on top. His tyres at the minute, 33% on the front right. The front right is the tyre that takes the hits around this track. There's no way about it. Kraser, Michalizzi and Anderoa all on fresh tyres, all around the 1 or 2% mark, including the rest of the field as well. So TextFX Pro, he's got warmer tyres out on track. Kraser and Michalizzi and the likes have got to get their hards up to temperature. Surely with the sun breaking through, Rita is going to have all of these guys for chips.
You would think so, on paper. However, he's got to try and make those soft tyres work in the first place. You've got TextFX who's on a set of scrub tyres, and scrub tyres are much easier to warm up than brand new fresh tyres. So they've already been through one heat cycle out on track. They can get back up to that heat cycle much easier than a fresh set, a brand new set of tyres. For the cars behind him, they're on the hard tyres, and infamously, they are so difficult to get some heat into. You can see the drivers behind desperately trying to get some heat into those hard tyres because they are so difficult to warm up. But once you do warm them up, you'll find that they stay within that temperature range much easier than any other tyre. They're very hard tyres to actually overheat, so you've got a chance there. It's getting them in that temperature range in the first place. For TextFX though, well, this extends his medium stint. This is him thinking now that he can go to the end when he gets to his end stint on a set of soft tyres. He is doing everything he can to look after the tyres, feather the throttle, and you'll see he won't be doing much tyre warming until he really has to try and save as much rubber as possible. He's definitely thinking soft tyres for his final stint.
Yeah, he won't do much weaving out on track to try and warm up those tyres because he's purely got the tyres maybe to go towards like the last 25, 26, I would imagine, to go on that set of soft compounded tyres. So he's going to be one of the men to watch out for. But if another safety car or another VSC comes into play, then he might just fancy his chances to try and come in a little bit earlier than expected. Try and get a set of softs maybe towards the end of the race, and we'll have to wait and see. Of course, the safety car, I believe, is going to come in this lap, coming on the hill through turn 11, and then up towards Junsao, of course, at turn 12. This is where the safety car lights will go out any second. Now, perfect. TextFX Pro is now the virtual safety car out on track. He is the virtual Bert Marlander, and he is now the one that's going to be setting a consistent pace under the safety car, because we've seen it too many times, like Magello in 2020. If you go too slow, you cause a massive accident. And TextFX Pro, as I've literally just said that, and Colin, Harry, and Ruben have all picked up 5-second penalties. I may as well just quit now while I'm at it.
Well, we're getting close to that start then, and TextFX is trying to desperately get the heat into those tyres as quickly as possible now. He's going to go for it down towards turn 1.
I think Michalizzi nearly ran into the back of Kraser there. It's 3 wide running down in towards turn 1. Rita dives it through the middle, parting on the Red Sea. 3 into 1 really does not go. 3 into 1 still doesn't really go. And Demoliol and Anderoa have been made to look absolutely well. Rita and Demoliol's lost it, coming through the centre S, and now Rita is through. Colin Mason has been caught up an incident as well. An absolute chaotic start under the safety car. TextFX Pro out on top, Kraser in second, Michalizzi in third. I wonder if we're going to get a deployment of safety car maybe from Colin's crash. Bryn Mike is also losing position from Amazing Hour, so Amazing Hour is through, and he's into 11. Crazy restart under the safety car.
Yeah, and, well, it was a very aggressive start then for Risa. He knew he had to get those moves done and dusted and decided to go 3 wide to try and get there. Amazing Hour, meanwhile, finds his way through, and Harry B actually has some front wing damage on the left-hand side of the car. I think he made contact with Shapalele somewhere out there, so he's got a big amount of damage to the left-hand side of his front wing, and that's not going to be great news for him. All that time he's been trying to warm up those tyres, and has just gone awry. Risa, meanwhile, going side by side now with Michalizzi down the start finish straight. He's got the inside line. Remember, no DRS yet. We get to the third racing lap here after the safety car before DRS is activated. And so Risa now is up into third place, making those soft tyres work. Next gap ahead is Grisa, 1.2.
Yeah, Risa is through and he's into third position. Very aggressive start from the Dane, but Where there's a will, there's a way, and he gets through and he's into third. Stewards, of course, will look at that safety car restart, but Michelitti, if he stays within that second, is going to be within that DRS range, and the softs really haven't warmed in as much as Ruben has actually lost it coming through turn 5, I think, and now he has lost it, and he's got more damage and pretty much lost the entirety of his left side end plate, and it's really costing these guys out on track. There's so many mistakes being made. Ruben now with left side end plate damage. Harry Banks is into the pit lane, just coming toward the exit of the pit lane. He's on set of mediums towards the end of the race. Texrex Pro though leads the way. Cracer is second and Risa in third. Ruben again has lost it, I believe, at the top of the hill going slow, coming through 7 and 8. But Texrex Pro leading the way. Cracer second, Risa in third. Chaotic start, but Demoliol on the back of Mike further down the field, just through John South for 10th and 11th.
Yeah, I think he made contact with Carter going through the third part of the ZRS, and it was just as he was rejoining, he would have got a clip from the rear right or rear left of the other car. Meanwhile, he's trying to make a move on Mike, then going in towards turn 1, right onto the AstroTurf, then trying to go round the outside in towards turn 1. He'll have the inside line into turn 2. Fantastic move from Demoliol, and he takes away 10th place. Might not be over there yet, though. Mike has some DRS going down in towards turn 4. He now switches to the right-hand side of the track as they make their way through in towards turn 4. Demoliol still trying to hold it on the inside. There's a little bit of contact between them. Through they go through turn 5. Side by side they go. Demoliol hangs on to 10th place. He's earned that one. Fantastic stuff.
CPI man gets ahead of the esports Walesman, and I've got to give him credit. There was no gap to go around the outside in towards turn 1. Mike gave him all of the room, bless him, and Demoliol has just made him to look like an absolute mug. I'm sorry, Mike, I'm going to be having you that one in TTL Division 2 commentary tomorrow night. Demoliol 30s into P10. Absolutely brilliant, given that there was completely no gap.
Absolutely, and I think all credit has to go to Demoliol there. He knew exactly what to do. Yes, Mike had a little bit of DRS, but Demoliol didn't give up on that one. He knew exactly what to do. He planned it about 3 moves before the corner, knew what he wanted to do, and executed it to a T. Millimetrically perfect.
Yeah, 1.1 seconds he's burst away as well from Mike, and Mike is probably thinking, well, I haven't got the pace, I may as well just try and keep up with him at this stage. Carter's on the back of Anderoa running in towards the Cedar del Lago now through turn 5 and on the run-up in towards 6 and 7. Luke, by the way, mentioned that they had a couple of collisions on the run-up in towards 6 and 7. Mike has just picked up a 3-second penalty. But that was the reason, I think, with Castro and Dawadek coming together, that was where it happened. So, Dawadek and Castro, I'm sure there'll be an investigation going into that. Risa, by the way, has caught right onto the back of Crazer for the lead of the race. Less than a second separating the top 3. But if these guys battle, and they probably will, it could bring Michelitti, it could bring Anderoa, and it could bring Carter directly into place. Risa, I think, is going to get this move done on the back of Crazer. Crazer's going to be the one coming in on TexFX Pro as well. I don't think he's going to be close enough. Risa's going to have a choice of a double toe, pretty much, running down the straight in towards turn 1, dives it down the inside line. Beautiful move by Risa. Not aggressive at all compared to what it was earlier on. And Risa is through and he's into second. Is he going to get the lead of the race? I wonder, of TexFX Pro as well. On the run in towards the Cedar del Lago. Looks like he's got the pace. He uses the rest of his overtake mode to come down the inside line. The AFR man against the TTG man leans on him, runs him out wide, but is through, and Crazer's getting through in there as well. So TexFX Pro from first to third in literally 2 corners.
Yeah, he left the door wide open there, ran wide, and Crazer saw his opportunity, took the move then, and TexFX moves now down into third place. He's yet to stop in this race, remember. He's on a set of scrub medium tyres. They're 15 laps old at this point in the race, but for Risa, now he's got to run away. He's got to put some qualifying laps in now to try and get away from Crazer, because he's got to make another stop. He can't make it to the end on those soft tyres. We've got 21 laps to go, 20 and a bit if you're picky. It's Risa who leads the way from Crazer in second place, TexFX Pro in third, Michelitti fourth, Anderoa in fifth, Carter in sixth, Shabalele seventh, Legend in eighth, Amazing Hour ninth, Demaliol in 10th, Mike in 11th, Harry in 12th, and Ruben rounding off our 13 drivers left in this race.
Yeah, and to be honest, in terms of the team standings as well, no matter where Crazer and Anderoa finish, LR are going to be the champions regardless, because Amazing Now is in 9th, Harry Banks is in 12th. They may as well just keep on going whatever position they finish in now. They pretty much wrapped up the championship because Colin, Castro and Dawadek have DNF'd. Crazy just picked up a penalty on the exit coming through turn 3, and Aroa now on the back of Michelitti running up the hill in towards 6 and 7. But Risa leading the way. His size now will begin to start to go off a little bit. and he will be hoping to try and get to around lap 23, maybe lap 24 if he's lucky, to go on to a set of soft compound tyres and to try and fly towards the end of the race. But as I always say in these commentaries, it is one thing to get onto the back of a driver, and it's another thing to overtake.
You're absolutely right there. Andorra, meanwhile, going now through turn 11 on towards turn 12, trying to find a way to see if he can catch up to Michalizzi to give him a chance to overtake. And Risa, well, he must have me in his ears then, which is a terrifying prospect. But he is now clear of the DRS zone ahead of Creaser then. Just over 1 second is the gap at the moment. And you can see Creaser might have a little bit of a different setup to Risa at the moment. Clearly running lower wings at the moment. Creaser trying to make sure that he gets onto the back there. You know, lower drag this circuit helps you on the long run out of turn 12 and onto turn 1, and it'll help you here down on the run towards turns 4 and 5. But then through these high aero sections, this is when you're going to start to fall away. No matter what tyres you've got on your car, you will start to fall away. 1.1 is the gap. Watch that gap now on the hard set of tyres. It will go up now. 1.2 seconds it is going in towards these medium speed, now into slow speed corners where the mechanical grip is where you need to have the grip then, and on the soft tyres, that is where you will have that grip. TexFX still yet to come into the pits there. I think the only driver in this race that is yet to make a stop in this entire race distance so far. He has to make one. It's entirely up to him when, and my thinking is that he will go onto a set of soft tyres when he eventually does visit the pit lane.
Sorry about the technical glitches, of course, that's happening with the graphics. Of course, I'm sure we're trying to fix them as much as possible. But Risa leads the way, Crazer in second, TexFX Pro in third. We're running on limited resources at the minute, but we're still going, and that's the more important thing. And the rower's on the back of Michalizzi, running down the straight in towards turn 1, but he's not close enough just yet. Carter was looking as well on the back of Andorra, down towards the Cedar de Largo, and now Andorra is going to pull out into the slipstream. I don't think he's even going to use overtake mode now to try and get the move done on the outside line in towards the Cedar de Largo. The CGT man waltzes his way round the outside line, and he's through and he's into P4. So Andorra made that look very, very easy. There's Michalizzi in 5th, Carter in 6th, Chapelelli, Legend as well, right on the back, running up the hill, in towards 7th and 8th, and Legend's right on the back of Chapelelli as well. But 7th and 8th position currently, Risa out on top, Crazer 2nd, TexFX Pro in 3rd, Carter still on the back of Michalizzi, once again in towards turn 10, trying to close him up, but Risa leading the way, Crazer 2nd, TexFX Pro in 3rd, but my goodness me, we are in for a real good thriller here in Interlagos. Crazer, I should say, in TexFX Pro, currently a top 3, but I wonder if there's going to be any moves happening further up the field. Carter right on the back of Michalizzi, and speaking of a move, I think he's going to get the move done. The Canadian now down the inside line on the fin, tries to get the move done, down in towards turn 1, they're leaning each other slightly. Michalizzi on the inside line, holds him off for now. Michalizzi, good defensive driving there from him, had the much better run, but now Carter, the pendulum swings, it's now in his favour, and Carter to the inside line is surely going to get the move done, leaves him very short of room, but Carter, the Canadian, is through, and he's into P5. Legend now down into P8 as well, but Michalizzi still trying to fight on the back of Carter. Carter stays in P5, Michalizzi in P6, but Carter gets the move done.
Yeah, and Legend just in the background there, trying to find a way past Chapelelli, but Chapelelli slammed the door shut going in towards turn 5. Then no way through for Legend, trying to find his way through. And there you can see he's in a bit of a predicament, because Amazing Hour on the charge back through the field is there in 9th place. He will definitely want to try and have a sniff at an opportunity to overtake. Don't rule him out. I do fear about Risa though. I don't think right now the current pace is enough to really warrant him a place in that top 3 come the end of this race. He'll have to stop again, and he'll get a huge amount of pace on his side in the final 11 laps of this race. The only problem is he's got a pit lane to negotiate and to change his tyres, so you're going to add on at least around 20 seconds, so that will make him re-emerge in the bottom half of the field. Then he'll have to try and make those moves throughout the field to get him back to where he was. It's not looking great for Risa. He's really got to start pumping in the lap times, because at the moment it doesn't look like this strategy is going to pay off.
Well, Dresser's just said in the comments section there as well, Risa is very quiet at the minute. He's the IFR race engineer, is Dresser, and he's in hammer time mode. So he needs to up his game. We need to tell him that somehow. He needs to up his game, and he needs to try and pull out the pace as I catch a fly. Risa now running down and through turn 11. Demolio's just picked up a 3-second penalty. That brings a little bit of comfort, I think, to Risa. He will know that's happened. unless he's getting the information provided to him from our stream. Risa now is going to be right there or thereabouts in terms of Demoliol. Is he coming into the pit lane this time around? No, he's not. Amazing Hour on the back of Legend has got a phenomenal run, running out through Jun Sao. On the run up, TexFX Pro is into the pit lane to go on to a set of what I would assume is soft compound tyres. Amazing Hour no lot close to the back of Legend. The car lagging all the way down the straight. It is 6:30, I think, now in Australia, and Amazing Hour is right under pressure. Oh, Legend, I should say, it's right under pressure, but Legend now trying to get onto the back of Chapelali. We could have maybe a two in a bed running down in towards in towards the seat of the logo. No, Legend stays in behind Chapelali, Legend, and Amazing Hour 6th, 7th, and 8th. TexFX Pro, however, has came out right behind Demoliol, pretty much where I wanted him to be honest, and that means Risa is going to be ahead of TexFX Pro, and that is going to be crucial. Now, Risa, I think, has got to respond to TexFX Pro coming into the pit.
Well, it might be early, but yeah, you're right. He's got to have a response because now TexFX has got clean air. He can put in a solid lap time to get himself up the order. And if Risa delays his pit stop by a lap, he will lose that position. Yeah, you're right, James. He has to respond. He'll have to pit in this lap, but he stays out. He's staying out then for yet another lap. That may cost him in the long run, but surely 14 more laps on those soft tyres. They're going to be screaming in agony at some point.
TexFX Pro has already gained a second and a half on the back of Mike. He's gained 0.8 of a second on the back of Demoliol. Legend, by the way, is running side by side with Chapelali, running down in towards turn 1. He dives it down the inside line. Very similar to what we saw with Risa earlier on. Amazing Hour goes around the outside as well. And Chapelali, the cameras were really brutal on my end, I've got to be honest. Carter now on the back of Anderoa, not getting the move done, but Amazing Hour is through. And he's into 7th. Chapelali loses 2 positions for the price of 1. Legend dived it down the inside line. Needed to get past him. Got the move done. Little bit of ruthless aggression, but Legend is through and he's into 6th position. Amazing Hour in 7th. Chapelali now all the way down in 8th position, and because of the technical difficulties that we're having with the graphics, I brought everything up. So we've seen the telemetry, we've seen the track map on the right hand side, and hopefully you guys get to see what is going on in terms of the ERS. Certainly Amazing Hour on 52%, Legend on 26%, so Amazing Hour has got double the amount of ERS than Legend at this stage in the race as Carter tries to close in on Anderoa for 3rd.
He will indeed, and I have to say as well, there comes Risa then into the pits then, so to make his stop, he slows it down quite a way before the pit lane speed limit line, but just to make sure he doesn't get that penalty, soft tyres are at the ready then at the pit crews garage, at the IFR garage. They put on another set of soft tyres, away he goes, and where will he rejoin?
Amazing Hour, I thought was trying to go around the outside line of Legend running through turn 1 and 2, a little bit of lag induced lagginess, I've got to be honest. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. Amazing Hour was on the back of Legend. I'm trying to get on the back of him, running down in towards turn 4. Doesn't get the move done. Legend stays in 5th. Risa is ahead of TexFX Pro.
Yeah, he left that a lap later. He would have been absolutely, TexFX position gone. He's rejoined in 9th place, but now, if his race engineer was saying before that the hammer time was on, the hammer time will definitely be on now. 17.9 seconds behind our race leader to try and make up that lost time. You can see it's around 18 to 20 seconds you lose in the pit lane. That's why these hard tyre runners were thinking about that in the long run. He's got the advantage now, has Risa, with the race pace, but for the first few laps of his stint he will. As the race draws on, he might find that he'll start to lose a little bit of pace out of his tyres. Watch out though for this battle for second place. It's Anderoa, it's Carter, it's Michelizzi. They all want that second place.
And here's Amazing Hour on the back of Legend for 5th as well. Down the inside line, he comes, the Australian. Little bit of lag from him, but Amazing Hour is through. Down the inside line and towards Sermon. Gets the move done on Legend. He's through and he's into P5. Chapelali now. He's hit now. Hunting time for Legend. Running down in towards turn 4. I don't think it is. Legend's going to try and swing the pendulum in his favour. Running down in towards turn 4 once again to see the logo. Doesn't get the move done. Watch for that gap to Risa and Demoliol. It's 3.8 seconds at the minute. Demoliol's keeping those hard very well indeed, I've got to say, for the CPI guys. And Risa currently in 9th position. Of course, Dawidek already out the race for CPI. Risa now has got to put in the laps. He's got to put in the effort now on 2-lap warmer tyres compared to TexFX Pro. He has now got to put in the effort to try and close in. I don't think Risa will win this race. I'll put it there now. I don't think Risa will win this race. I think, if it's more likely, I think he's on for top 5.
Yeah, I think you're right then. He's got a lot of battling to do to get himself up to the top 5, let alone into the top 3 of this race. But at the moment, CGT will be absolutely jumping for joy. Their cars are 1 and 2 at this moment in time, with Carissa leading the way from Anderoa. But Carter's looking to change that here in the TTG car, making her way through the ZRS. Oh, all out of shape for Anderoa in towards turn 2. That's an invitation for Carter then. He needs no second one. He moves to the right-hand side, opens up that DRS, and on the short run down towards turn 4, takes away second place, and that lapse of concentration for Anderoa means he's lost a position. Michalizzi will be licking his lips.
No!
He fancies a one.
Schiaparelli's dubbed it down the inside of Legend, down in towards turn 4. I thought that was going to come from a mile back, and it did, and Schiaparelli makes contact. I don't think there's any damage on that car, but again, Schiaparelli just trying to dive bomb down the inside line. The gap was there. Legend let him pretty much have the gap to try and get that move done, but he hasn't. Michalizzi now is on the back of Anderoa, but Carter, crucial. He's 3 into second, Anderoa third, Michalizzi in fourth, and now Michalizzi will be the one to try and help to get onto the back of Anderoa. But Cloud, once again, beginning to build over the circuit. Is it going to rain towards the end of the race? Who knows what this weather can do here in Brazil. Crazer, though, 3/4 the way through, 75% race distance, and Crazer leads the way from Carter in second. Michalizzi is in fourth, just in behind Anderoa, who lags slightly there, running down the straight. Amazing Hour is now in 5th, Legend in 6th, Schiaparelli in 7th, Demoliol 8th, Risa now pretty much a lap away from being on the back of Demoliol, the AFR man against the CPI man, Texrex Pro in 10th, Mike still running there in 11th for Esports Wales. He's had a very lonesome race, is our Mike. Harry Banks in 12th, and Ruben rounding off the top 13. Michalizzi, though, is right all over the back of Anderoa. But these cloud conditions beginning to build over the circuit, these are going to bring the hards into play, and Rita and Texrex Pro have probably got a little bit of a mountain to climb, because not only is the air temperature beginning to drop, the track temperature has dropped 2 degrees since the start of this race as well.
Yeah, so that's going to be a huge concern for the drivers, especially those on the harder tyres.
Michalizzi's just gone full Tokyo Drift coming through turn 10.
Lovely
My
stuff.
God.
Well, I will say, though, as well, Schiaparelli did get some front wing damage in that incident earlier on, about a lap ago. So it's on the right-hand side of his car. So he might have a little bit of performance issues going into the end of this race. And, you know, wing damage isn't great at the best of times, but you don't want it with a set of hard tyres. It's going to make every single corner seems like it goes on forever. At the moment, though, Carissa is on a charge at the moment, leading the way by just over 6 seconds ahead of Carter.
Yeah, I think it's all the battling that's happening in behind with Anderoa caught up in this, and that's bringing Carter now 6 seconds away. In terms of the penalties, by the way, 3 seconds worth of penalties for Creaser, 6 seconds worth of penalties for Schiaparelli, 3 for Demoliol, Texrex Pro, Mike, and Ruben Teve at this stage in the race. But my goodness me, could we see more battles happening up and down the field? I think we might, because Reese is right on the back of Demoliol, running down in towards turn 8, down in towards turn 9 now, pretty much at the highest point of the track at this stage, and Creaser leads the way, 6.1 seconds, gap still increasing, Carter in second, Anderoa in third. Creaser, though, if he picks up another 3-second time penalty out on track, he's got to be treading on absolute thin ice, because Carter has not got any penalties at all. He's 6.3 seconds behind him, the gap is increasing in Creaser's favour, but Carter might just have the better tyre wear towards the end of the race. Risa right on the back of Demoliol, though. This is running down in towards turn number 1. Legend as well on the back of Amazing Hour, running down the straight, dives it down the inside line. Risa now diving it down on the outside line, running round the outside. He gets the move done and he's through, and he's into 8th position. Legend, though, has dropped behind Amazing Hour, and Amazing Hour still is under pressure from Legend. Legend will switch to the inside line. He's going to bump draft him down the straight, and Legend stays at P6. Schiaparelli at P7. Didn't realise this was IndyCar.
No, not at all. But Reese has got the move on Demoliol. He moves up into 8th place. That great move we saw then round the outsides. Got the move done. Moves up a position. Amazing Hour in 5th place now. Ledia, and then has Schiaparelli all over the back of him now. All over that gearbox and just filling those mirrors with FRL livery then as we make our way up towards turn 10. We go lap 29 out of 36. We have 8 to go. 7 and a bit if you're picky as the cars make their way now through these final couple of quarters. For Creaser then, at the moment, he's got that 3-second penalty, but he's on his 3rd warning, which means he can get 2 more warnings before that 3rd or that second 3-second time penalty is added on. For Carter, he's had 1 warning the entire race, so too for Anderoa, so too for Michalizzi.
Texrex Pro down the inside on, and Demoliol trying to get the move done. Down the inside he goes. TTG man waltzes through, and he's through, and he's into P9. Lovely stuff there by the TTG man. Look at Risa as well. Risa's right on the back of Chapelelli. 20 lap old hard against 5 lap old softs. You know, if I was a betting man, I probably am. Risa is going to be past Chapelelli probably on this lap, and look at the pace he's got on that car. Legend is the man in front of Chapelelli, so IFO I think are going to try and team up, maybe force Chapelelli into full sense of hope, maybe force him into a bit of a mistake, and now Risa and Legend have got him right in his sights, and now let the team tactics really begin out on track. Risa leads the way though, Carter second, Anderoa in third. Anderoa still sticking with Carter. Carter, to his effect, is a really, really consistent driver. That gap has not gone down at all throughout the final couple of laps there. And Carter 6.5 seconds behind. If Anderoa does not close up on him enough towards the end of the race, Carter will have second in his back pocket. But if Cracer picks up another penalty, then it just throws another hat into the ring. Risa right on the back of Chapelelli running down and towards someone, absolutely sends it down the inside line. It's really, really hard-hitting stuff, and Chapelelli on the inside line gets caught on the inside curve. Risa nearly sent into a spin, and Risa would not like that at all, and Chapelelli is through, and he's into P7. Well, there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, Risa getting front wing damage on the right-hand side as well. Just a chip off the end plate then, so that will not be good for his performance and his hard charging status towards the end of this race. That's only going to exacerbate the tyre wear he gets throughout this race. He'll get a bit more understeer than he's expecting at the moment. However, it's a little bit too far back to try and move on Chapelelli like that, and he might have just paid the price for that little bit of front wing damage. But as you said, the gap was there. He thought he could have a go. Chapelelli had other ideas and was willing to put up that fight and put up a defensive display, keeping a hold of 7th place.
Yeah, I think Chapelelli, to be honest, invited him on the inside line, and Risa had every intention to try and go down the inside and try and pull off a sort of Daniel Ricciardo-esque move down in towards turn 1. But Risa now is going to be under pressure from Texrex Pro and behind, and the TTG man now beginning to get onto the pace. Is he going to close up down in towards turn 1? I don't think so at this point. Everyone running in a big DRS train. Mike, Harry Banks down in 12th and Ruben in 13th. He can rule them out of the mix at this stage. But we have really got 2 battles. Chapelelli just picked up another penalty out on track. We've essentially got 2 battles. Carter to Michelizzi, 2nd to 4th. Legend and Amazing Hour are 5th and 6th at this minute. But all of that battle begins to spawn all the way back to Demoliol, who's on the back of this, and he's running in P10 as Risa is going to try and run around the outside line, switches to the inside line, and Chapelelli tries to look down the inside line through in towards 6 and 7, doesn't get the move done, tries an absolute ruthless dive bomb down the inside line, tries to go around the outside now through turn 9. Chapelelli is going to hang him out to dry here, force him onto the grass, and, well, that's just driving for you at the end of the day. Texrex Pro now is through on Chapelelli. Risa comes across and Demoliol. That was not needed whatsoever, and all of that spawned from Risa's dive bomb.
Well, Risa then was put onto the grass, and then he lost the back end. It dropped on him, and then he rejoined the track then, and Demoliol just had absolutely nowhere to go as Risa now will fall down.
Anderoa's down the inside line of Carter, gets the move done. Carter plays sway, and he's now going to be behind Anderoa, but he has got the DRS now on the back of Anderoa. Is he going to try and fight back in towards turn number 4 at the Cedar de Largo? I don't think he is. He's derating down the straight, and Anderoa is through, and he's into 2nd. CGT jumping for joy once again.
Once again, they are. Amazing Hour, 5th place then. He's trying to hang on against Legend, though. And Legend has around about 60% of ERS battery to use. And to defend for Amazing Hour, he's got less than 8%. A huge difference in the amount of battery that both drivers could use as the really grey clouds loom over the circuit. They're threatening, but with this short amount of distance to go, I can't see the drivers even thinking about intermediate tyres as Creaser comes around the final braking zone and on towards this final acceleration point. When he crosses the line, there'll be 3 to go.
Demoliol's overtaken Risa coming out the pit lane. I've never seen that before. Demoliol is through and he's into P10. I wonder if Risa let him through, actually, as a result of the contact. I think that's probably what it was. Demoliol's through and he's into P10. They're going to try and catch onto the back of Mike as Carter is round. Carter is round. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3, actually. No, somebody else is round. It's, Chapelelli that is round in 8th position. Chapelelli is round, and Carter's actually lost a position to Michelizzi. In all of that, Michelizzi is through, he's into P3. Amazing Hour and Texrex Pro and a Legend are having a good battle as well. Carter's going to try and fight back on Michelizzi. Legend's trying to fight back at Texrex Pro as well. Goodness me, this race has just gone from 0 to 100.
in the blink of an eye as well, as Carter will try and find his way back through the field. Then Michelitti up into third place, and both drivers don't have a lot of ERS to use. Neither does Michelitti, right ahead of them. And this is you can see the leader of the race has much more ERS than pretty much the 3 cars behind him combined at the moment, with Risa picking up a 3-second time penalty. Right up ahead of Creaser is Ruben Teve, who is about to have a lap put on him in this race so far, as they make their way through the final couple of corners, full throttle all the way through, and on towards the penultimate lap of this race we will go. Creaser 6.5 in the lead, and hasn't got a single warning since he picked up that 3-second penalty all that time ago.
Yeah, he's probably being told to take it easy, and maybe a 1-2 for CGT on the cards as well. No matter the positions of Amazing Aaron and Harry Banks, here comes Tex-Rex Pro though, down the inside lows he goes, and that is how you complete a move. Risa down and towards Termon, lovely move by Tex-Rex Pro, late on the brakes, Daniel Ricciardo-esque. He is through and he's into P5. Amazing Aaron though's going to try and fight back with the lag-induced car, running down in towards Turn 4, but he is going to try and look to the inside line. Doesn't get the move done, doesn't want to risk the move. We've got 1.5 laps to go. If you are being picky, Fraser leads the way. Anderoa second, Michelitti in third, Carter in fourth, but the battle really on for fifth. Demoliol as well is right on the back of Mike. Rita is through on Harry Banks, and he's through, and he's in for 11th position. And now Demoliol, after that contact with Rita, is now right on the back of him, running down the straight, and Mike is going to be had for chips here. Demoliol down the inside line, lovely move, and he's through and he's into 9th.
Yeah, nice move there, and take nothing away from Mike then. He's gone up 5 positions from his qualifying position. That's the second highest in this entire race. The only driver that's done better than that is Carter, who started this race in 11th place. So he's done a fantastic job to find himself back up into 4th place. We are on to the final lap of this one.
And here comes Legend on the back of Amazing Hour, down the inside on he comes. Is he going to risk the move? Yes, he is. Legend is through. Oh, is he? Amazing Hour actually holds it around the outside line. That was very late on the break from Amazing Hour. I didn't even see it. Michelitti now, right on the back of Anderoa, but Anderoa stays in P2 for now. Is the CGT 1-2 about to ebb away? Legend to the outside line of Amazing Hour, tries to see it all the way around the outside line. It's very difficult to try and overtake a lacking car, but Amazing Hour holds on for 6th. Legend doesn't want to risk the move there. Michelitti though on the back of Anderoa. Creaser leads the way. Anderoa in second. CGT are on the cusp of picking up a 1-2 here in Brazil. Michelitti and Carter though, are they going to try and throw a little bit of a ringer into a hat into the ring? That's what I was trying to find. Creaser, though, coming up the hill, through the final 2 corners, through to see the DOS boxes, through in towards turn 15. Creaser is the one that is going to be winning out on track. Creaser wins for CGT. Anderoa is hanging off a grim life to the line. Anderoa is through and he's into 2nd position. Michelitti, if that straight was longer, he would have got him. Carter in the end in 4th. Tex-Rex Pro in 5th. TTG is going to drop down with Legend.
Puncture!
5th. And Amazing Now has got a puncture coming across the line.
He has, front right, just let go, going down the start-finish straight then, but he will not care. His tyre deflated, but he won't be, because that finish for the Leonis car means that they are the champions here, confirmed. A dominant season for them. They have well and truly earned that one. Drinks all around, I'm sure. Chapelali in 8th, Damaliel in 9th place, and Mike will round off our top 10.
Are we going to see a photo finish between Risa and Harry Banks to the line? Risa gets ahead of Harry Banks. It didn't matter because Risa had penalties anyways. Harry Banks is into 11th. Risa across the line in 12th. Ruben Teve, a bit of a lonely race from him right down the back of the field. He didn't actually get a lap put on him. So Ruben Teve running around through the final corner to see those boxes. Now through turn 15, and he's going to run across the line to finish in 13th position. The only man finishing for FFC. Very weird camera angle to finish off the race there, but Ruben Teve finishing in 13th. But what a race here in EML Previa. That is the end of EML Previa. Drive of the day awarded by the in-game fans, Carter. And what is it with these Gary Donegan lookalikes from TTML Division 2?
Well, I have to say, it's been a really, really good race today. And what a way to end off this season as well. Plenty of on-track action. And for Creaser then, well, 6 seconds doesn't really sum up this race. The gap he had on the car behind. But who cares? He won't care. That safety car shook up this race. Lots of drivers went onto the hard tyres. Fair play to Risa for giving that little bit of a different strategy a go. 2 soft tyre stints, but he was always going to struggle making it through the traffic on that second stint. But James, well, for the final time this season, the results.
The results are in, and we see the end of the podium celebrations right there. But here are your final results from EML Premier tonight within the race. Creaser out on top, Andorra second, an all-Spanish affair for CGT. 1-2 they go. Michalizzi, great drive from him in third. Really good defending, very impressed with him. Carter in fourth, good drive from him on his TTG debut here in EML Premier. Legend in fifth with Texfex Pro in sixth. Amazing Hour in seventh, 6 tenths of a second by the way between Legend and Texfex Pro in the end. Amazing Hour seventh, Schaffalelli in eighth. Demol Yol caught up in that contact in ninth. Overbryn Mike gets top 10 for Esports Wales. He's going to be chuffed with that one. He's not going to lie it down tomorrow night in Division 2. Harry Banks in 11th, Reeser in 12th, Ruben Teve finishes in 13th, Colin, Castro and Dowerdek, the only man to DNF out on track, but Creaser out on top, Andorra in second, Michalizzi in third, CGT 1-2, and I'm sure we are going to get the finalised podium, the finalised championship results, I'm sure, in due course.
Indeed, and I think that is Creaser's, correct me if I'm wrong, first race victory of EML. No better time than the final race of the season to get that. He's been on the podium before, but he does get the win, his first one of the season. And at the very last race, of course, well, that's a perfect time to get it. That's when everyone's watching on, trying to get the real crux of all these drivers here and all these standings. CGT did everything they possibly could in that final race. However, the odds were always going to be in Nurse's favour. All they had to do was get one car to the finish line. They did exactly that, and they doubled that. They got 2 of them.
Yeah, they got both of them in, and the final results pending any stewards investigations are in as well for the top 2. LR, 342 points have won, a 20-point advantage in the end, whittled away from 43 at the start of the night to CGT. And I wonder if there was another round of EML Premier, if the tides were going to turn towards CGT's favour. Well, you're just going to have to keep guessing for next season. For Season 2 of EML Premier, 30 teams, 31 including the team that signed up today, 31 teams have signed up for EML Premier Season 2 for the Teams Championship. I would like to thank every single one of you, no matter if you're a team member, no matter if you're the team owner, putting everything on the line to try and race in the cleanest and fairest possible way here on League Racing TV, here with Mr. F1 Esports himself, here with myself as your head commentator. It's been a thrilling it's been a thrilling season to cover, and I couldn't think of rounding off a better race than in Brazil. But for Season 2, 30 teams, 31 of course if you can count the drivers, the teams that signed up today. The likes of Sidemax, the likes of IFR, the likes of QVR, the likes of TTG, IFR Main Team, IFR Academy, TTG Esports. I'm not going to run them through all, but you get the gist. Those are the sorts of teams that are signing up, of course, for EML Season 2, and I really, really hope that we're going to have the 3 leagues that it so promises to be.
Well, we just have to wait and see, won't we? It's certainly shaping up to be one of those seasons, and I can't wait to see how it all pans out. It's been a pleasure to share a commentary box with you again, James, to round off this season. And, well, for myself and for League Racing TV, it's been a really good way to sort of send us all off. It's a very, very nice way to do it.
It is a very nice way to do it, of course, and I've had the privilege of being joined by 2 commentators, of course, this season in the EML Premier, of course, to you, Kieran, and to Dan Hoggard, who, of course, gave up commentary after EML Premier last month. He will never be forgotten on the League Racing TV channel, like you will never be forgotten, my friend, on the League Racing TV channel. You've gave a lot, of course, to the channel and a lot to League Racing commentary in a whole, and I'm sure whatever lies ahead, we are all going to be supporting you and the drivers every step of the way here on League Racing TV on One Hub, no matter where it has been. I'll probably get shot by Maze, I've now mentioned that.
Oh, well, it's all right. Your money's in the post, so don't worry about it too much, James.
Exactly. But I'll come across to you, your final thoughts on today's race in Brazil, and for your driver and team of the day.
Oh, you've put me on the spot here. Well, I have to say, in terms of a review, it was a really good way to round off this season. Plenty of action up and down the field, and that safety car right into sort of lap 9, lap 10 of the race really forced a hand for those medium tyre riders. They really had to make a choice whether they wanted to stay out on the mediums, like we saw one driver do in that race. I think it was TexFX Pro, decided to stay out on the medium tyres. Everybody else, though, who started on the mediums, went straight into the pit lane, put on a set of hard tyres, and only one driver, one of the Leonis drivers, got a puncture out there. So that was pretty impressive. Amazing hour getting a front right-hand puncture right as he was just on the charge to the start-finish line. So not a bad way to get a puncture. Possibly one of the best ever times. I have to say, though, driver of the day, I think it's got to be Carter. He's qualified in 11th place, but gained 7 positions throughout the race. Got the safety car strategy absolutely spot on. And for a driver like that, that is a really, really good way to send it off. And I don't think I can award any other team this team of the day. CGT. Everything worked perfectly. The strategy, a bit of luck involved in it as well, but take nothing away from Crease's pace, extending his gap to 6 seconds over his own teammate, and for Mickey to get himself onto that second place, making the passes again and again and again. Well, he did everything he needed to do. CGT are my team of the day.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. Really good drive from Carter. Not only that, it was his first race within TTG Esports that I've certainly commentated on as a whole, and a fantastic performance from him. He's got a very bright future ahead, I am sure, on the channel, and you might be seeing him in TTML to come in next season on the new game. Team of the day, yeah, CGT just dominated affairs. I think Crease's pace, absolutely awesome, and a very good wingman role, and CGT get my team of the day as well. But that ends us off for the final time this season here on EML Premier. We really hope you have enjoyed all of the action that we provided for you over these last 10 months. Get that right, 10 months we've been doing this, and I couldn't think of ending it off in any better way. Of course, more action to come on the League Racing TV channel this week. Division 2 and Division 3, myself and Mike taking you through Division 2, Division 3, of course, Aidan Carter and Conti, not the Carter you've seen tonight, Aidan Carter and Conti taking you through Division 3, and then myself and Paco on Division 4. Division 5 is James Ball and Pariah, and then we do it all over again next week for Round 8, of course, in the TTML Championships. But it's a long time coming to do this. I've been James Head.
And I've been Kieran McGinley.
Please take care of yourselves in this crazy world that we all live in. And until next time, goodbye.
I've been up for 3 nights. My eyes are bloodshot red. Damn, I wanna see the sunshine. It's getting to my head. One look in the mirror, don't like what I find. I know that somewhere in there there's a good guy, but he runs away at midnight. I'm sorry that I stole your car. Ain't got those tattoos on my arms that don't mean shit to me. Maybe you should pull the alarm, so I don't take it way too far. Die before I'm 23. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Mom. My siblings are perfect and I wish I were the same. Making bad decisions, it should be my middle name. I love playing with fire, it's my favorite. Watch me burn my whole house down, not feel a thing. One look in the mirror, don't like what I find. I know that somewhere in there there's a good guy, but he runs away at midnight. I'm sorry that I stole your car. Ain't got those tattoos on my arms that don't mean shit to me. Maybe you should pull the alarm, so I don't take it way too far. Die before I'm 23. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Mom.
Listen, there's collateral damage, I gotta go.
I'm sorry that I stole your car. Ain't got those tattoos on my arms that don't mean shit to me. Maybe you should pull the alarm, so I don't take it way too far. Die before I'm 23. I'm sorry, Mom. 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 I'm sorry, Sitting at the same old workplace. What's the point of this chase? To just bite our old tail. Wishing that something would change, that we could turn back the page and live like our favorite fairy tales. So a love so free in a world of our fantasy, flying on dragons through sky-high cities. These are our childhood dreams. It's how we used to be when we were kings and queens in our childhood.